What's going on, guys? Welcome back to hashtag GSM4GM Season 4, Episode 17 here in WWE 2K25 MyGM Mode. I'm Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well. We are on the road to WWE Survivor Series, and until then, we have a string of strong shows on tap, including tonight, where we are headlined by a United States Championship defense, the rematch between Gunther and Ilya Dragunov from Bad Blood, where Gunther emerged victorious as champion. Ilya Dragunov is getting another opportunity, and tonight he'll have GM interference from William Regal on Gunther's behalf. So will Ilya Dragunov be able to take the title with William Regal getting involved? I mean, that's not advertised that William Regal will be at ringside. He's just going to get involved. We'll tell that story when we get to that match. We cannot watch that match, though. So I'm looking forward to that match. We cannot watch it. But that will be coming up in the main event. What we will be watching is the opener for tonight's episode. The new WWE Champion Jey Uso teaming up with the man he beat for that belt in CM Punk against two men that Jey Uso knows oh so well. His brother Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns of the Bloodline. The Bloodline battle Punk and Jey Uso in tag team action tonight. We're going to be watching that momentarily. Tegan Nox calls out Naomi. I do not know why Tegan Nox's picture is over there on the left. I have no idea. That looks very strange. But she calls out Naomi for one more match after beating her last week. Liv Morgan addresses her WWE Women's Champion opponent, Becky Lynch, when she challenges for the gold in a couple of weeks on SmackDown. Kofi Kingston, role change here tonight, going from heel to babyface. So Kofi Kingston returns to SmackDown, will be in action next week here on the Blue brand. Charlotte Flair takes on Chelsea Green in a rematch from Chelsea Green's in-ring debut on SmackDown a number of weeks ago. Charlotte blaming Chelsea for the loss in last week's Triple Threat where she got pinned, so she'll be going one-on-one with her tonight. Seth Rollins and AJ Styles will go one-on-one tonight as well. Finn Balor getting involved to go after Seth Rollins before their big blow-off match in a couple of weeks. And then as I mentioned before, the aforementioned main event, Ilya Dragunov and Gunther for the United States Championship. William Regal getting involved. So we had a massive, I forgot for what reason, but a massive influx of cash on, I think either last week or the week before, to where we now have over $500,000. We spent that on Kofi Kingston, so we now have Kofi Kingston on the show, and we will use him in the time that we have him, because we lost Javon Evans. And I honestly might put more money that we have towards the Wrestling Center. I won't buy it tonight, kind of depends on how much money we make on this upcoming episode, but I might upgrade our arena to the Wrestling Center, so at least we're in, like, the PC. Ideally, I would like to be in the stadium, or in the arena, actually, so we'll see how much more money we have after that. And honestly, all this other shit, it does help the show as far as fans and whatnot, but it doesn't bother me all that much. I will probably upgrade at some point. It's not really something I am personally all that invested in. I'm kind of just more so looking at it visually. I want to be in a bigger building. It just looks better when we're not in a fucking concert hall, but at least we're not in a gymnasium anymore, so at least there's that. We're not in a high school gym. So regardless, let's get into it. We're going to be watching the opening match. Like I said, we are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin here tonight. We will confirm booking. All right. I think all the power card stuff is set. And we're going to be watching this match. Jey and Punk versus the Bloodlines, Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. Looking forward to this match. The Bloodline does have roots dating back a few years. Solo Sikoa was the original member of the group alongside Roman Reigns, but turned on Roman after being fed up with his bullshit. And then Jimmy Uso instead being recruited into the group. Jimmy Uso and Roman now represent the Bloodline. Jey Uso was almost brought into a line with Roman Reigns. He was the first one Roman Reigns tried to recruit, and he refused, ultimately fell to Roman Reigns in a tribal combat last man standing match at WrestleMania a few years ago, where he was forced to leave SmackDown when he lost, but instead recently resurfacing for the first time in a few years, and not only resurfacing, but taking the piece of hardware that he cherishes the most, Roman Reigns does, that being the WWE Championship. But it doesn't come without a price. The man that he beat for that belt, he has to align with here tonight in CM Punk, a man that doesn't trust Jey Uso very much. He still thinks the fix might be in between Jey Uso and the Bloodline. He might still soon join the Bloodline. He might still soon bring that belt back to the Bloodline. So Punk, it's not entirely trusting of Jey Uso. This match will prove whether they can be a cohesive unit and whether he can trust Jey Uso.
If the Bloodline has their way,
because he feels like after losing that WWE Championship, that Jey Uso might be this whole act of doing it for the people and doing it on his own might entirely be fake, might entirely be false and phony. So Jey Uso has to prove himself here tonight, not only being on the same level as Roman Reigns, a man that he's once beaten before one-on-one, but also prove himself to CM Punk as not only a worthy champion, but a worthy ally. Roman Reigns taking the upper hand against Jey, laying him out in the middle of the ring as he tags in Jey's brother Jimmy. We have not yet seen Jey and Jimmy go one-on-one here on SmackDown. Jimmy arrived on SmackDown soon after Jey left, and shortly before Jey returned. And Jimmy's had a lot of his own success here on SmackDown. In the last couple of months, he's been winning a lot of matches against Javon Evans, and among others here on SmackDown, actually chasing off Javon Evans from the Blue brand, who we have not seen on SmackDown since, injuring Javon. And now Jey and Kofi stepping up to replace the young high flyer. Jimmy taking control against the WWE Champion early, gets back into the ring to avoid getting counted out as Jey has to get back up to his feet and roll back into the ring. A countout loss would not be a good way for Jey Uso to start his run as the WWE Champion. Roman throwing Jey right into the outside. Jimmy again going to the outside. That breaks up the count. Starts over from one. Punk probably not wanting to get involved in the family business. Not helping Jey despite being outnumbered at ringside as Jey takes Jimmy off his feet. And he's got to get back in the ring, and he does. Followed by Jimmy. Jey capitalizes. Strike to Jimmy, and okay, what's he going for here? Okay, single leg lock. But Jimmy quickly gets out of it. And he's got Jimmy now up on his shoulders. Boom, nice Samoan drop. Looking to tag to CM Punk, who has no shortage of history with the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso, not so much. He did beat Jimmy Uso recently on SmackDown one-on-one. That would have been on last week's show. But with Roman Reigns specifically, those two go way back here in the Blue brand. It was actually Roman Reigns who Punk beat in his first match as a contracted SmackDown superstar years ago. Nice back body drop to CM Punk. Jimmy Uso with the cover. Jey proving that he can be trusted, breaking up the count. Maybe earning some brownie points with CM Punk. But yeah, Roman Reigns and CM Punk having traded wins a number of times in the last number of years. CM Punk beating Roman Reigns in his Backlash in-ring debut. I think that would have been Backlash 2003, I want to say. They went on to have a rematch at SummerSlam that Roman Reigns won to avenge the loss. Nice kick there from Jimmy to Punk. Another kick to CM Punk, and another kick to the back of the head, and a quick cover on the former WWE Champion. Two. Kick out of two from Punk. No save from Jey there, interestingly enough. Jimmy tags out to Roman Reigns. Punk still on the ropes. Then when it came time for the rubber match between Roman and Punk, Roman Reigns beat CM Punk for Backlash at Backlash 2004 to win the WWE Championship back. Having a rematch at Hell in the Cell soon after, Roman Reigns winning that as well. And then when it came time for their fifth match on SmackDown about a year ago, and CM Punk was or actually not even a year ago, it was actually earlier this year, CM Punk was still the WWE Champion, beat Roman Reigns on SmackDown to retain the title. Oh, nice kick to the face of Roman Reigns from Jey. And again, but this time Roman covers it. Roman catches the foot, and he picks him up with a ginormous slam.
And Jey Uso on the wrong end of some ruthless offense there.
So CM Punk does own the latest victory over Roman Reigns in one-on-one competition, but Roman still leads the series 3-2.
Smart strategy, attack the knee.
Damn, Roman Reigns taking Jey right down to the mat, using his head like a basketball. Jey kicks him, punches. Gets him up. Nice neck breaker combination on the outside there. Doesn't want to take a count-out win. Wants to prove to Punk and everyone else that he can beat Roman Reigns. He's done it before. He wants to do it again here tonight, pinning him in this tag team match. Gets back in the ring. Spear! Spear from Jey Uso to Roman Reigns. He covers the former champ. 1, 2. Jimmy Uso breaking it up. Would Roman have kicked out had Jimmy not gotten involved? And a kick right to the face. Jey Uso. You gotta be setting up Roman Reigns now. Beautiful super kick from Jey Uso. But Roman tags out to Jimmy. Oh, and a spear from Jimmy to Jey, pinning the champ. Here comes Punk. Punk! After Jey helped him, he helps Jey. Beautiful. Nice senton there from Jimmy Uso. Jey nearly had the champ, or the former champ, and Roman Reigns beat before Jimmy Uso wisely tagging in. Kick to the face.
Just absorbing way too much damage at this stage.
Another kick to the face.
I don't see things turning around in his favor.
And again, the stomp right to the arm. Boom, 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 boom.
And Jey is being picked to pieces here.
Jimmy's proven hard to deal with.
Jimmy Uso in full control. The champ now throws. Oh no, Jey gets Jimmy right into the corner.
Going after the ankle here.
Boom! Right on the ankle of Jimmy Uso.
Stomp to the
Nice stomp there from Jey, and another stomp. And now he pins Jimmy. Oh, only a 1 count. Roman Reigns didn't bother to interfere there. He also wants the show, and Jimmy Uso still having to prove himself to Roman Reigns. Boom! The right hand from main event Jey Uso, who tags in Punk to hopefully put Jimmy Uso away. Punk already with the upper hand over Jimmy, having beaten him last week here on SmackDown. Punk catches Jimmy right into the Anaconda Vice. Handing Jimmy Uso his first loss in quite a while as I look back here in my notes. Jimmy Uso previously beat Javon Evans one-on-one a few different times. Oh, he picks Jimmy up for the go to sleep for a second straight win over Jimmy Uso. 1. There it is. CM Punk again pins Jimmy. Jey and Punk proving to be a cohesive unit here tonight. CM Punk officially announced for next week. Goes one-on-one with Roman Reigns. And a rekindling of their rivalry. It's not going to be any sort of matchup, though. It's going to be a hardcore, certain type of stipulation match. I've yet to decide what that is. But Punk and Roman will rekindle their rivalry tonight, or next week, rather, here on SmackDown in the main event. Big win, though, for Punk and Jey Uso in the meantime. I love that outcome. I love that Punk pinned Jimmy. Big win for them. But yeah, according to my notes, Jimmy had not been in action. Okay, so he lost to Ilya Dragunov back in Week 7, but so Jimmy had not been beaten prior to that point in quite some time. Jimmy went undefeated for a while. Good stuff. Okay, promo there. Simulate Charlotte and Chelsea Green. Charlotte puts away Chelsea Green once more. New feud between the two. Liv calls out Becky. All right, who wins this matchup between Rollins and AJ Styles? AJ Styles picks up the victory with a Balor and Rollins only feuding now. I mean, come on, they should have been feuding fucking weeks ago, but nonetheless, a big win for AJ Styles. Rollins continues to lose and crash out in the process. Kofi goes from heel to babyface. He was a babyface the last time he was here on SmackDown. The last person he faced here on SmackDown before leaving would have been a few years ago in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament to Gunther. So he has a lot of history with Gunther. We are going to simulate this match. I'm scared, though. Gunther has set back every challenger to his United States Championship. Will it be Ilya Dragunov, who finally takes the title with interference from William Regal? Will it backfire? We'll see. All right, simulate. 1, 2, 3. Gunther retains again! Gunther retains the United States Championship, this time instituting the interference from William Regal, using it to his advantage to retain the title and beat Dragunov again. Another big win for the Ring General, but it's not over between Gunther and Ilya. They're going to have one more match at Survivor Series, I can promise you of that. Gunther cheated there. Can't be cheating at Survivor Series come the Iron Man match. And I am pretty certain we're going to have an Iron Man match between those two. Pretty good stats, though, for SmackDown this week. 3, 2.5, 3, 4. Pretty good show. Also made $58,000. Okay, not bad, not bad. That contract negotiation, that always comes in handy. All right, we'll catch up. We'll catch up to Raw. Listen, we'll get them in that trophy department. What the fuck is this? Are you fucking kidding me? The whole This Is War bullshit where they have to fucking negate who we have. This is ridiculous. Select an opposing brand. Have 5 randomly selected superstars that cannot be booked in matches. Cannot be used in the last one. Fuck you. I should have never let him win that first pay-per-view because it's fucking bullshit. Oh my god. Ilya says, I appreciate you carrying on through your promises. Great work working with you, boss. Ilya not happy but the fact that William Regal got involved. Fuck, that messed up the entire show. I had an entire show booked here. You know, fuck SmackDown, so let's do something to them. Oh, that helps us. What helps them out? Or what fucks them? Select an opposing brand. Next week, a random match on a superstar on the roster while their in-ring level reduced to 0. I'm going to use that for the pay-per-view, so I have to remind myself to use that for the pay-per-view. You can use that for Kofi Kingston. I don't really want to use that yet, though. I don't know if Kofi's sticking around. That's the issue. Oh my god. Select an opposing brand. Next week, one of their contracts will be reduced by 2 weeks. Select an... I'm going to use this now. Chill out. I'll use that for the... I'll use that this week and use that next week. No rival brands have contracts that can be reduced. What the fuck? Whatever. Alright. So what did I have for this week? I was going to do Jay and AJ. I can't do that, I don't think. No Jay and AJ. I was going to do that tonight. Can't do that. I was going to do Tegan versus Chelsea again. Can't do that. I was going to do Gunther and Kofi. Alright, so let's do Gunther and Kofi here. I can't do Gunther either! What the fuck? Oh, literally every match that I was going to do is fucked. Literally every single match, bro. Every single match. I was going to do Gunther and Kofi tonight. I was going to do Roman and Punk tonight. Tegan and Chelsea, Jay and AJ. They took 1/2 of every single match I was going to book. What the fuck? Including both people in my opener. None of the promo people. Jesus Christ. This is crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. Kofi needs an opponent tonight. I don't want to do Kofi and Roman. I mean, I guess we could. Ilya is free. Seth is free. Don't want to run back Roman and Seth. Seth and Balor have their... You know what? I might just do that tonight. Let me look at the stuff for next week. Fuck. We can just do Punk. I was going to do like Ilya, Gunther, Punk, and Uso all in promos next week. We'll just do that. I can't do that this week either. We didn't lose any women except for Chelsea. Typical. 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 women. We can stretch them across matches. So I was going to have Becky call out Liv tonight. We could save that for next week. Becky and Liv will have... No, I can't, actually. They were going to have their... When are they having their title match? I'm looking at the notes for next week. Oh, we're doing it next week. Okay, we are doing Becky and Liv next week, so I can't do the promo this week. I need them in matches. Becky's already beaten Tegan multiple times. She's facing Liv, and she's facing Naomi. And I want her to face... She's beaten Naomi, too. I want her to face Charlotte at WrestleMania, so I can't really have Becky in a match tonight. I can still have Becky call out Liv. But we can do Tegan and Charlotte and then Naomi and Liv. I guess we'd have to do that. Tegan and Charlotte. We'll do that here. And then Naomi and Liv. Alright. And we'll have Becky call out Liv. So that's that. We need 2 other matches. Who else can we use tonight? We honestly might need to hire someone off the fucking jobber list. I don't know. Roman. I wanted Roman in a match tonight with Punk. We might have to hold off on that until next week. We don't have Jey or Punk, both of whom are going to be facing each other at Survivor Series in a rematch for the WWE title. So what can we do? We have Kofi, who can make his in-ring debut tonight. I don't really want Kofi beating Roman clean. That would be kind of fucking dumb. Balor and Rollins, who I want to save their match for next week. I mean, I suppose we could do it this week, actually. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it this week. And we'll watch it. Because we weren't going to watch it next week. Next week I was going to probably watch Liv and... Or I was going to watch Liv and Lynch, because I'm going to simulate that match next week for the title. We'll just do... We were going to do it next week, but we're short-handed, so we're going to do Rollins and Balor tonight. Fuck it. And then we can also do maybe Kofi and Jimmy? Question mark? Yeah, I guess we're going to have to. Kofi and Jimmy tonight. And then we can have Roman call out Punk, and we can do that match next week. You know, we're going to have to pivot, but it's not bad. And then Roman lets Jimmy go out for his match, go out on his own. Call out. Ilya Dragunov calls out Gunther. All right. So that is what we will do next week. I already had the show, everything booked. It was all good to go. So annoying, but whatever. Yeah. All right, I guess that's what it's going to be. Let's use the boiling point feud thing. Moderately increase, or immediately increases all feuds by 1. All right, so we'll do that. Fixed match is always good to have, so we will purchase that. Because I probably have to use those in the coming weeks. I do really want Rollins to lose this match, but he already lost to Balor, so if he wins this match, it's fine, because they want to turn Rollins heel. I won't use the fixed match thing for this week, but we can use it in multiple instances coming up. I know of the 2 of the 4 that I have, I'm going to use one on Lynch and Liv next week. I do not want Liv winning the title. I really want to do Charlotte and Becky at Mania for the title. That's my plan. And then I'll use one on Punk and Jey Uso at the pay-per-view. So that's my other plan. The other 2 fixed matches I'll use probably on SmackDown coming out of the pay-per-view going into WrestleMania. So I think that's it. That's the show for next week. A very different show than what I originally had planned. But we pivoted. It is what it is. Charlotte and Tegan Nox going 1-on-1 here tonight after Charlotte beats Chelsea Green. We will have them, maybe if Tegan wins, maybe that's the thing. Maybe if Tegan beats her, then we can do a rematch, a number one contenders match that Charlotte wins in 2 weeks on SmackDown, so I can use another fix option for that. I was going to say I can use one here to make sure Charlotte wins, but if she loses, it's okay. I was going to do Charlotte and Chelsea again next week anyway. But that doesn't really make sense because she already beat Chelsea last week. So I think the fact that we had to switch up our matches and whatnot, I was going to do Kofi and Jimmy next week as well. So the fact that we had to switch shit up here honestly isn't that big of a deal. Maybe I'll have I was going to maybe use a fixed match on Kofi and make sure he wins. Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. If Kofi loses here, that's fine. I do kind of want to have him win. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can figure out something next week with Kofi and Jimmy. Maybe they can run it back if Jimmy wins. Anyway, that's the show. Charlotte and Tegan. Roman Reigns calls out Punk before they face off next week on SmackDown. Actually, I can simulate that match to make sure CM Punk wins. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, Ilya Dragunov calls out Gunta. Kofi Kingston will take on Jimmy Uso. Naomi takes on Liv Morgan 1-on-1. I should simulate that, but we can also, if Naomi wins, we can explain that Tegan Nox... Or no, that doesn't really make sense. Maybe Becky cost Liv the win. That's also possible. I won't use the fixed match on that. I won't use the fixed match option on that either. Becky Lynch calls out Liv before their title match next week. And Seth Rollins and Finn Balor will settle their score 1-on-1 tonight. We'll see what happens. Who goes over here? And this will have direct effects on Rollins' character arc moving forward. So, looking forward to the show very much. I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Be sure to tune back in for episode, 18 next week of Season 4 of #GSM4GM. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video and become a channel member. More information on that down below in the description box. At the very least, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be notified every single time we upload new content and every single time we go live here on the channel. Have an awesome one, folks. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and we'll catch your ass down the road.